Welcome to Tea Time with Creators.
I'm your host, Evie.
And I'm Jake.
And this is a podcast made by creators for creators.
So sit back, relax, and get ready for this week's guest.
Hey!
Hello, how's it going?
Thanks, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. So good to actually speak to you guys.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Very exciting.
How's your day been?
Not too bad. Woke up like late and then just cruising through life.
The best weekend.
Yeah, that's like the best half a day.
Yeah, what about you guys? You've done much today?
We
went to work. So, yeah.
Our work weeks are Thursday through to Sunday. So we don't get a rest on the weekend.
Well, yeah. But I mean, I guess you kind of save money, so you don't have to go out.
True. And then you get the extra money for the weekend, so it works out.
That's true.
And I feel like when you're like so busy, you don't even know what day of the week it is anyway.
That's also true.
That's so true.
Well, thanks so much for being a part of our podcast. We're so excited.
I'm excited. I think I manifested this. I was thinking like a couple of months ago. I'm like, oh, I want to be on like a guest on a podcast, and I just forgot about it. And then you guys messaged me, and I was like,
there you go.
Yeah, you definitely manifested that. You definitely manifested that. That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I just get our microphone's like all the way over there, so I'm just making sure you can still hear us. Okay.
Yeah, no, I can hear you guys perfectly.
Perfect. Well, we'll get straight into it. So my first question for you is kind of like, can you tell us about your content creation journey so far, like kind of what's brought you up to this point right now, being on this podcast?
For me, well, I've been doing UGC now. Oh my God, I started in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I didn't really take it seriously at all for like majority of the first year, and then last year was when I really started taking it seriously. And my like journey, I'm trying to like think of the right words to say. So it's, can you repeat the question again? My mind just like started wandering.
It was kind of basically like
what's a summary of your journey so far with like content creation?
Like just like social media in general. Like like when you were like, I don't know, 12, like did you want to be a YouTuber, and then you Instagram, and then you found UGC, like kind of what kind of led you to like what you're kind of doing now, I guess.
Oh, okay, perfect. Now thank you. So actually, like when I was like really little, like 10 and all that, I loved watching like Zoella on YouTube. Like I was obsessed with watching her, and then never really like did anything. Like I never really wanted to post because I was like a bit scared of posting. And then it's actually year 8 was when I started doing acting classes and doing theater acting, and then I got into TV acting and doing extra work, and then I went from doing extra work and then studied at an acting school for a little bit, and then COVID happened, and then I was like, oh, okay, no acting, like it's too hard to get into anyway. And then went to uni, and then started like uni, and then I just still wasn't feeling like myself or anything. And then I found UGC on TikTok. I saw actually one of the Australian girls. I can't remember which one it was, but I saw her talking about UGC and I got interested. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then I kept looking and seeing more about UGC, and I got drawn into it. And then I liked the aspect of being able to like incorporate like my acting into it as well. And I guess that's kind of what led me to it. And then now I'm like, I'm still like figuring things out with UGC, like still like an ongoing process for me, just learning new things and all of that. But my journey, like now, I'm like so proud of myself from like just have kept going, even though when I wanted to like stop completely. Yeah.
That's like that's the main thing. As long as you keep going, you'll eventually find like an end route, and that's like kind of all that really matters.
Yeah, that's like I like truly believe that if you don't give up, it will go somewhere.
Exactly. This is like the only thing I've never given up, and it's going to plan, which I love.
Yeah.
That's I just want to touch on, that's really cool that you like did acting. So you like was that something where you wanted to kind of, I guess, do like TV shows or movies, or was just something you kind of did on the side as like a little bit of fun? And because you said you did some extra like work as an extra.
Yeah, so I was really wanting to do acting. Like there was something like I felt more like myself than anything else, but it's just really hard to get into, especially in Australia. There's not either like a lot of places. You'd have to go to America to do the acting, but then I always wanted to fall back onto like something, have like a degree in something, and then because of COVID, it just all went to crap. I couldn't do really a lot with any of my acting, but now I'm actually using my acting now more than I did, but it was something that I really, really wanted to do. But I guess I kind of just kept putting it off and didn't really believe in myself to be able to do it. So yeah.
Well, like you said, I think it's cool. You are like, you're kind of using it now, even with like, I guess even more so with like doing YouTube compared to like, I guess UGC, but you kind of, the skills that you learned when you did that, you are like transferring to using them now, which I guess gives you a bit of a, I don't know, maybe an advantage on camera. So that's always nice.
Yeah, it's nice, except I noticed like with like UGC and like even YouTube, you're talking to the camera, like you're facing the camera.
Yeah.
With acting, you're like completely ignoring the camera. So I found it was so difficult and unnatural to do that. But now it's so natural to just speak to the camera, as you guys know. It's just yeah.
So do you prefer doing YouTube over Instagram, or what's like your preferred platform?
I feel like on my YouTube I can be like I don't put pressure on myself for YouTube. I kind of just post whatever I want now. Like I used to just be so hard on myself with it. But it's kind of hard. Like I love being on Instagram, but then I find so much pressure to be on Instagram. Like with everyone's engagement, I keep seeing people's engagement like up into like 100,000 people like engaging on like, you know, with the Instagram thing, it says it, and like I put so much pressure, and then the likes and the views, whereas on YouTube I don't really necessarily care because it's kind of like this little community, like friend of like strangers who don't really know about UGC, and it's more just about my life. But yeah,
I feel like making YouTube videos where you're like vlogging or whatever is like more therapeutic, whereas like short form is you're trying to hit all these markers in like 15 seconds, and then you gotta like hope that it goes well. It's like completely different.
Yeah, it's so different. Like long form content I love.
You get that flexibility with long form content, which I think is really nice. So compared to like what you're saying, short form, it's like you got a deadline, you got to meet it, and you got to hit it, and if you don't, it can flop, and it's just not. It's harder because I guess you're not being fake, but like you got to really be precise with what you're doing. With long format, just kind of like leisurely, if that's the right word.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Do you have like, are you just doing YouTube because you enjoy it, or do you have goals you're working towards, or you kind of just like making videos as you go at the moment?
I'm kind of just making videos as I go at the moment. Like I love like just sitting there and doing like my little get ready with me's and doing makeup, and then vlogs, and then if like I want to speak about like books, or I love speaking about like personal development and self-development. That's something I'm getting into at the moment. So that's kind of, I guess, where I'm going with it and making videos. Yeah.
I think what's cool about it, because we've watched a few of your videos, so I think it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's kind of like something that like I always like was like wanting to ask you was, I guess, you know, that what video was it?
Yeah.
And you had all the journals, and it was funny while you're doing that video and you're like sharing what all your journals was. It was kind of like, I wonder if she's realized in some way that like the YouTube has become like a form of her journaling. And I thought,
oh, but I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And I thought that was like really cool. I was like, I wonder if she knows, but like it definitely comes across that way. And I think it's really cool because it's kind of like, instead of just like, you know, you journal for yourself, but this is like an open journal that, you know, people can, like you said, like you getting really into like the mindset stuff and the mental health side and that, and, you know, people who may be struggling as well can like connect and listen through what you're sharing. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's like a YouTuber that because I love like casual YouTubers. Like I can just watch it like all day. And like one girl, like her like bio is her digital journal. I think she's yeah, which like makes so much sense. And she does like diary entries as YouTube videos.
Oh,
so that's cool as well. Yeah.
Wow, I'm actually filming a vlog today, like a weekend vlog, and I actually, before I went into the gym, I was speaking about you guys. I was going on your podcast.
We made it, yes. Now we're gonna watch it, and then we're gonna see us in it. Yes.
Yeah, I shout you guys. So look forward.
That's so funny. That's so good. I love that. Speaking of the gym, that was kind of like the next question we wanted to ask was, obviously, like, you know, we follow each other, so we keep up with like what you're doing and that. And we've seen like you, I guess, how long, like it's been like 2 months now, 2 months almost, or 3 months, like super consistent, like you're working with that Amy. Yeah. How have you been finding, I guess, because we go to the gym ourselves, and it's just always interesting, I guess, kind of getting someone who's coming into it, building that routine, their like, I guess, perspective of how like it kind of, what's the right word, like
is impacting
impacting your lifestyle. And that, like, have you found like because you've been really consistent, you're almost going like nearly like every day, so it's just it's cool to see. I like it, but it's kind of like I'm intrigued how that's impacted your overall life compared to before you're going. Like, do you feel like you've gained some discipline in areas that maybe you didn't have before, or has it made you feel, I guess, more happy or more purpose driven?
So I've been going to the gym for years and going majority of the week as much as I could for more of my mental health. And then I had Amy reach out to me, and she's like, "Oh, want to do a collaboration and all of that." And it was a gifted collaboration. And honestly, I would keep it as gifted. I wouldn't do any paid because I loved it that much. And what I've noticed the past couple months since I've started getting coaching from her is I feel like my gym, like when I go to the gym, I feel more structured. Because when I don't have like a personal trainer, or like even if I did just like assign different days for different body parts, like working out like glutes and all of that, I didn't really feel like I had a plan at all, even though I more go to the gym just to work out for my mind and all of that, not really to improve my body. But now I feel like I'm a bit more like stronger. I feel a lot more confident as well. And then waking up like every day early as much as I can. I've built like a routine, and it's something that I look forward to when I wake up. It's like the main thing I get out of bed for to just.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, and I can have a little routine in the morning, like I wake up and then get ready, have a little bit of breakfast, and then go to the gym. I'm one of those people that sits in my car for like an hour before I go in, and I have to like prepare to go. But
At least you're getting there. At least you're doing it. That's kind of like what I wanted to hear anyway. And like I like, it's like, because that's what I found. Like eventually, like when I kind of really got into it a lot, and that my days kind of ended up being, it wasn't like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It was like, oh, well, I was like, that structure came from, okay, well, today I'm training this body part, or today I'm doing this. But it weirdly gives you this, I guess, confidence and structure within your day. And then you kind of, I guess it sets the day right in some way.
And it's sorry.
Yeah, you go.
It's like such like a good thing where you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's such like a huge, I think, daily or however often you go accomplishment to be like, I went to the gym for myself, and you feel so much better after, because obviously like for whatever reason someone's going to the gym, there's usually not like immediate effect, like immediate results anyway. So it's like being able to like be proud of yourself and consistently go, even though like you don't immediately see a result. It's like, it's really cool.
Yeah, it is. And like, it's like my little therapy place as well.
Yeah.
It's like me time, because well, me and my mum go to the gym at just like the same gym, but she goes at different days, even though she sometimes comes with me. But I don't really like know anyone at my gym at all. Like, I'll see like a few people like from like high school, but we don't talk because everyone's in their own like, I guess, little worlds when they're working out.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like my happy place.
Yeah.
Have you something that I find funny about the gym is, because we've noticed it a few times now, there's like one or two people, no matter, I don't know, like you said, you go in the morning, so I don't know if there's other days, times in the day that you go, but I know we sometimes there's like one or two people that we see. It does not matter what day we go, what time we go, they're always there. It's like, do they live there? It's like, it's crazy.
No, it's so weird.
I get that. No, because someday, like, what was it? It was actually today. I saw a person at the gym at around like 12 o'clock, and this person normally goes well before me, so like she leaves when I arrive in the morning. She was there at the same time. But I have seen so many people at the gym at different times, like regular people who I know. And it's weird to see them, because it's like, why are you here?
It really is.
It's so strange. It's like not like school, it's not work, but it's like you're seeing the same people every time, and like you kind of just like make eye contact, don't talk to each other, because like where we work at a grocery store together, and like we will see people from the gym coming in, and we just like, we both can see that we recognize each other, but we also don't say anything.
No, I get that. I work at my like local pharmacy, and the amount of customers that I see at the gym, and then they see me at work, and it's so awkward, because you can tell like they want to say, "Oh, I saw you this morning," and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Did you have like, even though we're like into what's April now, isn't it? Did you have like a big goal for this year, or do you have any content creation goals in general for 2025?
I don't think I really had a goal for this year, apart from more like personal goals. But in terms of like content creation and like YouTube goals, I guess my goals was I really don't know. I guess it was to get more like collaborations and to get more brands to come to me instead of me going to them.
Yeah.
So I guess that was my goal, and building more of my personal brand as much as I could. But I really didn't set a goal for this year.
That's definitely not a bad thing though. I feel like it's kind of like, it's so overrated, like New Year's resolutions or whatever, because it kind of doesn't make sense. Because if you think about content creation, it's like we all have our own little businesses, and it's like you usually don't even like you go like week to week or month to month, rather than like one goal for the whole year.
Yeah, exactly. And I hate like New Year's resolutions. Never stuck to them in the past at all.
I've literally like forgotten most of mine by like 2-3 months. I just completely forgot that I set one.
Yeah, they are overrated. They are 100% overrated, New Year's resolutions. Whereas like setting like intentions, like and like I guess goals as well is better than New Year's resolutions. If that makes any sense?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to journal more last year, and like one of my goals for last year, or like my intentions for last year, was to journal whenever I felt like it, not put pressure on myself. Whereas in the past, I would have said, "Oh, I want to journal every single day as a
yeah."
Never did it. But when I changed the mindset of setting the intention instead, it didn't feel like pressure.
Yeah. And I think that's the most important thing is like when you set a goal or whatever you want to call it, I think making sure you have no pressure towards it. The moment you put pressure on it, it kind of almost makes it twice as hard to achieve. Like it really does.
Yeah, and if you then make your brain feel like it's like on the have to do list, not the want to do list, it can make you kind of like start to
make you go backwards.
Yeah.
Like, so you can start to spiral really because you're like, oh my God, I need to do this. And then you kind of forget that you want to do it and you know, this is too hard. And
you just like put it off and you're like, oh, I'll do it soon. And it just keeps going in the distance. You never ever end up doing it. Yeah.
Well, you look like you're going pretty well so far by the looks of all your journals.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I have a bit of journals. I have like an everything journal, and then I have like my dump journal, which is where I just dump whatever thoughts come to mind. And I found that really therapeutic. Like if I'm just having like a hard day or like had a fight with a friend, I'll just write, and I don't care what I write. Like it's like stream of consciousness journaling. I don't know. I heard it from my therapist. She told me to do it because I can't write that Dear Diary.
Yeah.
I hate that. I
tried that because when I didn't know how to journal, I didn't understand, and I was like, Dear Diary. And I was like, no, I cannot do this.
No, yeah, it's so much pressure like for people to like write every single day, like everything they did. I mean, go them for doing that. I can't do that. Yeah, so having like a journal where I just write however I'm feeling whenever I feel like it is very therapeutic to me. Sometimes I'll do it for like multiple days in a row. Sometimes I won't touch my journal for like months, but yeah. And it's good to see like where my thoughts are and like if there's any like repeating thoughts or feelings, and just being able to like write down when stuff has happened. Like if I don't see like my therapist for like a couple weeks, then I can like go back and be like, hey, this happened this day. And
I think that's the most important thing, especially for like someone who's, I guess, wanting to even run their own business. It's like you're so busy all the time, you're trying to juggle so many different things, and you can forget when things happen, and especially if it's important, or even if it's like you were so emotionally drained, being able to just kind of sit somewhere where you can write it down, you can just forget about it. But then when you go to write in it again, whenever it may be, you can kind of compare to like the last time you written, you go, oh, okay, well, I'm actually a lot better than what I was compared to the last time, even though maybe I'm feeling a bit down, or, oh, there seems to be a trending pattern here. Maybe there's something that I got to try and change. I think like, you know, that's important for, I think, anybody to really do. So I like that, what you're saying. What did you call it? Conscious streamlining? I like that.
Stream of consciousness.
Oh, stream of consciousness. That from close enough.
I don't know the actual rules of it, but to me it's just
you just write and write and write. Yeah.
It's therapeutic. And it's like I'm someone that, I mean, I'm bad at like grammar and all of that. So not putting pressure on myself if it's perfect at all is definitely helpful. Yeah.
That's important. All right, well, we want to kind of move into like some fun questions now. So the first one up is, if there was a museum about you, and it had a gift shop attached to it. So once they've kind of, the people have gone through, seen everything about you, and they come to the end to the gift shop, what would be like some souvenirs that your gift shop would sell? Like you can have one, you can have three, as many as you want.
I love this question. This is fun. I know I'd have keychains.
Yeah.
Yes, I respect that. Yes.
I love keychains. And I think it would be like little keychains, like that's about me, like in my life. Like I'd have probably like a little tripod keychain, like for contemplation. And then I'd have probably like a little keychain of Scarlett and like my dogs. So there's that. I'd also probably have like affirmation cards, you know, like maybe some affirmations. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of like what souvenirs there are. Like there's
It
kind of
could be anything.
yeah, like maybe a journal. People can write in. That would be great.
Your own journal, the Charli journal.
Yeah, the Charli journal. Maybe some candles. I don't know. I just love candles. So people can have some candles, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It's a bit hard, but
That's pretty good. That's like 4 things: candles, a journal.
I feel like you've gotta like you'll think about it, and then like later you'll go, oh, I'd actually probably like have that. It's something you gotta think about, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen. I know that for a fact. I'll think about it. I'll be like, oh, should have thought about that when I was talking to you guys.
Okay, so the next one is, what would your death row meal be?
My death row meal. Oh god. I don't know. Maybe.
I reckon this is one of the hardest questions because it's like you think of
I
one.
think I think about this all the time. Well, not like being on death row, but like what my favorite food is.
Yeah, because it's kind of like you have a thought and then you're like, that seems good, and then you like think about it a bit more and you're like, wait a minute, I thought about this. This exists. I want to eat this.
Yeah.
Or like I'm like if like I have different favorite food, but then I get sick of it.
Yeah.
And then I go find a different favorite food, and then I'll stay for that for a little while, and then I'll go back to a different one. It's I don't know.
You have to ask if they can do like a buffet.
Yeah, a buffet would be great.
Just one of everything.
Yeah, just one of everything. Like that's my death row meal.
Yes. Or you can eat. Let me kill my let my like execution be through overconsumption.
It'd probably though be a breakfast buffet because I do like breakfast. I reckon breakfast should be every day.
All day, every day. I agree with that because it's like,
and it could be savory and sweet for breakfast.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like, why can't dinner be sweet as well?
That's so funny. I've never even thought about that. That's like the perfect answer. It is.
Yeah, breakfast buffet. If they can't, well, it's my last meal. They can't say no to me. I don't think. I don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right. If you could live in any fictional world, what would it be and why?
Oh gosh, there's so many fictional worlds I'd be in. It was like this.
You can give your top 3 and then we can see if you can like narrow it down after that.
Okay, my top 3 would be Harry Potter.
Yes, that's mine.
Maybe I'm like thinking of fictional worlds and I'm like, I would be dead in these fictional worlds. Percy Jackson.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one.
And maybe I think maybe Marvel.
Oh yeah,
that works too.
What
superpower would you have?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I feel like maybe lightning or something. I feel like that's cool.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Like Harry Potter was just childhood, and then Percy Jackson also like childhood. That's like what got me into reading when I was younger. But and Marvel, because like I just love Marvel. So I don't know which one to choose. I'd probably be dead though in Marvel, knowing me. I'd probably get killed. Maybe Harry Potter.
Yeah, I feel like Harry Potter probably has like the highest probability to stay alive. Because if you attend Hogwarts, you probably just go through your schooling years and then kind of maybe learn some tricks and that, and then you can kind of just have a family and at least you're a wizard, so it kind of works out.
A witch.
Yeah. And you have a wand and you're just cruising through life, and life's easy with a wand.
Yeah, and a broom.
Yeah,
it's just so appealing. Harry Potter's just like so appealing for some reason.
The childhood, and it's a comfort.
I'll agree. I
want to reread all of the books again this year. I haven't read them in a while, so it'd be great to go back through them.
I actually haven't read the books. I like started the first one because I was such a fan of the movies that like it almost like didn't encourage me to read the books, if that makes sense. Because I was like scared that what if I didn't like the books as much as I like the movies, and that like ruined it for me. But like everyone says the books are better, so
they are.
Mate, you have to read them now.
Like the movies are just, they're such great comfort. But then I love the books because they have a bit more detail and there is some stuff that happened. Obviously in movies they can't have every like detail, which I wish they did, but yeah.
What was those when you were saying about Percy Jackson? What I was gonna ask, did you watch because I think season 2's coming out this year.
I completely forgot about that.
It was Disney that when they did the remake. What did you think of that?
I loved the remake of it. So I was a big fan of like even just like the movies. With Logan Lerman, even though they were nothing like really the books, I still loved them. But the way that they did the TV series, even though like they did change a few things, but a lot of it was spot on from what happened in the books. And the guy who plays Percy Jackson, like he's played him spot on, which I loved. And especially the character Dionysus, I can't even say that name. Dionysus. Yeah, and the actor who plays him, he's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine of Pimento. I don't know if you guys have seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I have. I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was good. The way that they made it as well, except maybe the mum wasn't really spot on, but oh wow.
Yeah. I remember not really liking the mum too much.
Yeah, she wasn't spot on like it was in the books. She was very comforting, more like, but they kind of made her like a bit cold, I guess. Yeah.
I remember like the movies with Logan in them, the scene where like the Minotaurs chasing them scarred me for like so long when I was younger. That scared me so bad.
Wait, no.
And I had nightmares for so long about Minotaurs.
No. Wait. How do you say it?
Oh, do you say Minotaur? Minotaur.
I said Minotaur. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
How do you say it, Charlie? How do you say it?
Minotaur, I think.
Minotaur, yeah, that's how I say it. What did you say? Minotaur.
Minotaur.
That's funny.
I don't even understand, like, I'm reading like a book, like especially if it's a fantasy book, I don't even understand how people like what the names are, like different names. I just make up a random thing in my head.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. Like I'll read like manga and that, or like a Korean manga, and I cannot pronounce the names. And then like the anime will come out, and all of a sudden I hear the name, and it's like so far from what I was like saying in my head, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
I'm like reading a book at the moment, and then I don't have the next one in the series, but then I realized that when you have like Spotify, if you're paying for Spotify, you can listen to books. I didn't know that. So I've been like, obviously I prefer reading it, but I just really wanted to like know what happened next. And I'm like listening to it on my phone, and they're like saying the names completely differently to like what I thought they were. But so it's very funny.
Oh, like you hear like, because on Spotify they sometimes have like different actors like speaking like the different parts, like male characters will speak. Yeah. And then sometimes when you hear the voices, it's like, that's not how I imagined them to sound.
That's not how they sound. Yeah, the one I'm listening to, it's a woman, and she's just doing all the voices, but she's just speaking differently. It's really funny.
And it makes it harder to be like immersed into the story.
It does. It took me so long to like, because she's got a really like heavy American accent, and like at first I was like, oh, and it took me a while to get used to it, but I'm getting used to it now. Yeah, I'm doing it for the plot. So
doing it for the plot.
Yeah. That's all that matters. That should be a life. That should be a life motto. Just doing it for the plot.
I think it is. I think it already is. I think a lot of people go by that.
Yeah, doing it for the plot. I love that.
This one. Mm-hmm.
If you had an autobiography filmed about you, what actress would you want to play you?
Oh, this is a great question.
Yeah, I like this question.
I have like so many, but when I like you guys sent me the questions, I nailed it down to 2 that I could think of.
Sure.
One would probably be Florence Pugh.
Oh yeah.
I can see that. I can see that.
I just love her. Like she's like
very funny.
Yeah, my comfort. Or maybe Jennifer Lawrence, maybe.
Oh yeah, I can see both of them.
Maybe. I don't know, but
yeah,
yeah, maybe them. Maybe. I don't know.
That's a good answer.
That's a good answer. What about you? Who would you?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's hard to think about.
I find that really hard to answer.
Off the top of your head.
I literally don't know. I find that so hard.
What about League to New Star?
Yeah, like it's the only person I can think of. I can't think of anybody else.
It's like no person comes to your mind when you think of like the question. It's like no song comes to your mind.
I've never thought about this question, and then when you like came up with it, I was like, oh my god.
Okay, well, who would you choose?
I would selfishly choose Jensen Ackles.
I love that. I love Jensen Ackles.
Yeah, we just finished watching Supernatural. She'd never seen it before. Yeah. So we just went through and showed her all 15 seasons.
Yeah.
That's like favorite TV series from like ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that series. I need to rewatch it. I haven't rewatched it in a while, so
this is just sign. This is just sign to rewatch it.
Yeah, it was like the one show like growing up like through high school that I didn't watch. I just didn't watch it for some reason because I didn't have like I was like on illegal websites watching TV shows and I just never happened to watch it. But I'd hear people talking about it and then I just like never got around to it.
Yeah, but it was slightly like
it's a bit older.
It's a bit older than when like you were because you obviously like it's when like Teen Wolf and Vampire Diaries. Remember it had already been out for like 4 years or something. Yeah. 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I remember like when I was really little when it like the first season came out. Was that, I feel like it came out in like 2005.
Yeah, something like that. We worked out.
Yeah, I was like maybe 3 or something, or like 4, and I remember I couldn't sleep, so I went downstairs to like the lounge room, and my parents were watching it, and I just remember seeing it and watching it, and yeah, that was probably really bad for a little kid to watch, but.
That reminds me. I remember like it took me ages to get into watching it because a similar thing. I couldn't sleep. And like sometimes I'd like stand at the house that I was living at. So you had the door, and from the door, I guess I could like stick out my head, and it went down a little corridor, but it opened up into like the lounge room, and the TV was right there. So like when I couldn't sleep, I'd like open the door and I'd like stand there and I'd like watch whatever my mom was watching, and like 5 times I stitched myself.
Did you even like hear the TV?
No. But I stitched myself up so bad, like 5 times. The worst one was what was so funny. Wait, I'm getting sidetracked. But basically, the worst time was just watching The Ring. But I think she fell asleep, so I'm sitting there. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm like 6 or something, and it's like this scene where like the screen goes all fuzzy and the girls are coming. So I thought they were coming out of the actual TV, and so I started screaming. And then my mom like launched off the gas, turned around, like came to the room, and she's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, the TV. And she's like, "Why are you not asleep?"
I can just picture like you doing that too.
That was terrible.
That's so funny.
That's like Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, the first one. I could not watch that because
the dinosaur.
No, it's the one where the guy, he gets out of his little car, and then that one that goes, the dinosaur that I don't know what type of dinosaur it is. It like scares him, and he's like covered in mud. And when they kill the goat in Jurassic Park,
so sad.
But I can watch the one with Chris Pratt in it. I'm fine with watching the Chris Pratt one, not the old one.
I remember I hated King Kong. I just hated it. And for some reason, E.T. Like when I was really young, E.T. really creeps me out.
I still can't watch that.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Caroline. I can't watch Caroline.
No, I can't either. I'm with you.
Like that movie. I think it's really interesting. I love movies where like it's like children shouldn't have been watching that though. I will say that. It's like way too it's like too deep for like kids, because I love movies where like there's a hidden message and you have to figure out what it is. And I feel
Inside Out. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yes.
Hidden message.
Yeah. But like, yeah, it's so. I think it's like the button eyes.
That's so creepy. And, like, I refuse to watch it.
The guy, like the circus man.
It's creepy.
I refuse to watch that. It's just terrible.
That's awful movie for kids. Should be rated like MA.
Yeah, we had to like that. We would watch it at school. I remember in primary school.
Primary school. No,
yeah, it'd be like the last day of school when weid watch that movie.
Oh, those movie days.
We would be forced to like watch the Minions every year. So when the first Minions came out for the first 2 years, we watched Minion like Despicable Me 1. By the time the second one came out, then we were able to watch the second one, and then we had to go back to watching the first one until like it was just like, why can we not watch something else?
That's so weird. It's like the only movies the teachers have on their like computer drive.
All right. So before we wrap things up, this is kind of like our final 3 questions, which is, I guess, kind of about you giving the audience listening, I guess, some advice or like some wisdom, I guess, finishing on some wisdom. I guess that's a better way to put it. So the first question is, what's like the best advice you've ever been given, or the best advice you've ever seen in, I guess, whether it's UGC, YouTube, content creation as like a whole? What's probably like the best advice you'd be given so far?
Probably one of the best advice I've been given or like heard of was create content that you would watch. I've seen a lot of people talk about that, and particularly like with YouTube, I watch like personal development and vlogs and makeup. Sometimes I used to, but yeah, anyway. So creating content that I enjoy watching myself also, I guess, is very motivating and helpful, but also just keep posting regardless of views, of likes, of whoever sees them. Be yourself is probably great advice I'd give. No,
that's good. I agree with that. I think that's important. I think so many people get lost in not filming what they would watch, and then they wonder why they're like not enjoying what they're filming. But I feel like everyone kind of falls into it. I know we fell into that trap before. I think it's like a part of the process, but it's definitely like a good reminder to hear that you should film what you'd want to watch, because then you're assuming you would enjoy filming it.
Yeah, and I think it's like also cool to think that, like, especially with something like YouTube, you would then hope that people like you would find your videos because it's like what you would want to watch, and I think that's really nice. And you create like a community of like-minded people.
Yeah, exactly.
So the flip of that is, what's the worst advice you've ever been given?
It's not really so much advice, like the worst advice I've been given.
Or I guess like
it's hard. It's
what's something that like you've heard or been told, not directly like, oh, you should do this, but in myth debunking, like that you kind of maybe done it yourself or thought about it or like heard it and then gone, you know what, that's actually probably like, that's wrong. Like I wouldn't tell someone else to do that, or what, or it didn't work for you. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I found that, like, I mean, there's people who post every single day and like they do that. Like, that's amazing. Me personally, that's not for me. I've tried it and I just feel emotionally drained. And it's also, like on the Instagram, they say to engage as much as you can, which is so true. And like and comment as much as you can on people's posts to build up like your engagement, to build up followers. And whilst that's true, I personally get so like emotionally and mentally drained when I keep doing it. Like I don't know in a way, when I'm saying it, it's like, oh well, that's why am I saying this? But
yeah, it's so real. That's the same thing with me. It's really draining.
You gotta like put like your own like self first. So I try to like and like comment as much as I can, but then there are days where it's like I can't, like all I can probably do is just like a couple and then just go about my day. So I feel like there's just so much pressure to have like the engagement up and just have the most amount of views. And another probably piece of advice, like worst advice, is like people saying you've got to pitch to like 25 brands and all of that. I hate pitching. It's something I despise. I just hate it. Probably because I've had like such bad like it just never really goes. They always say no or
yeah.
Well, it's funny you said that. It's like, I agree. I hate doing it too. I think something. What's funny though, something that's like really like clicked to me recently is like, I think the message should be, it shouldn't be, oh, you have to pitch to 100 brands. I think it should be like, it's more about probability. Because I think what I'm working at is you could pitch to 25 brands and they could all say no, but then someone else could pitch to 25 brands and five of those people could say yes to that person. And it's not because I don't even think it's got anything to do with their pitch being better. I literally think it's got to do with the luck of the brand that they reached out to. Maybe one of those 5 brands were not 5 brands you reached out to. And it's just really, because that's the thing, there's no way that we can like see, oh, this brand's like running a camp. Because what's funny, because I remember when we first started off, something that I think a lot of people do too, is you kind of like see who other people are like collaborating with, and then you kind of go, oh, maybe they've got a campaign going or something. But then it's like those videos are like maybe like 2 months old. It's like a campaign that's already done. So you reaching out to them, they're gonna say no, and then it does this mental battle of like, oh, am I not good enough? Like it's definitely, I think the way that message should be spread is like a bit different, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I think like actually some good advice, even though we're asking you the questions, but some really good advice that we got given that I actually hadn't really thought about it like this, because like, I feel like sometimes UGC can be quite rigid, and it's kind of like, here are the do's, here are the don'ts, get collabs, get paid. But it was that like speak to brands and interact with brands like you're trying to build a relationship, because they're just people too. And I think it's so simple, but I literally like, I hadn't thought about it like that. I think it's like, oh, I'm contacting a brand, but it's literally a person who's probably like at their office job.
You're going, how many emails do I have to read today?
Yeah, and it's like,
wow,
that's a fun way to see it. And then we like, maybe you could try to like imagine making them smile or something from your email. And it's like trying to build like something there.
I think we were, for one period of time, we were just like sending jokes to people. And I remember someone ended up, I can't remember, I think it was like the subject line was a joke, and then they had to open it to see the answer. And like, I remember one person like replied and they were like, oh my God, this was so funny. Like this like made my day or whatever. They still said no, but like,
it's all about making someone's day.
At least we'll be remembered.
Yeah, and like a lot of brands don't even answer you anyway. Like they just don't answer you at all. So
it's funny. That's funny.
It's
Well, the last question to kind of wrap it up is, if you could change one thing about social media culture, what would it be? Like something that you kind of, I don't know, see or experience, and you just
or you're like passionate about.
What would that be? And like, if you could like tomorrow or like right now click your fingers and that would change, what do you reckon that would be?
The one thing I could change about social media culture. There's like so many, I guess, little things I'd change. I guess in terms of like more so UGC, what if we're speaking about. As much as I love people going on and saying how much they've made each month, like I love seeing it, and like, but then there are times it's like seeing it, it really does, I guess, build up too much expectations for people. And I guess I just change people just stop putting it up there. Like,
yeah, that's a really good answer.
I agree with that.
I feel like in a way it's like, even though it's online, it's still like a community, and it's like you don't go around walking around saying to people, hey, I made this much this week. Like, it's almost kind of like, it's confusing to see. And it's like, oh, it's like, how do you not then start thinking about your situation? It's like kind of forces you to start thinking about it.
Yeah, and that comes into like, I'm just thinking about so many people are becoming coaches and building like different like courses. Like, I've seen a lot of like experienced like UGC creators or people who've been doing it for years, and I've seen like real beginners just start like putting out courses, which, like, I mean, anyone can put out a course, everyone can put out like anything that they want to, but there's just so many like options, and a lot of them are very expensive as well. Like, yeah, so I don't know, there's just, I guess it's a bit hard for like social media wise. I don't know.
I think that's a good answer. Like, I respect it and I like it. I think you really hit the nail on the head, really, because it's kind of, that's like one thing
we say it to each other too.
Well, that's one thing that like I've like made sure that like we have not done. Like, there was like a time of period where I was like, I was seeing too much of it, and I was kind of like, oh, do we just do it? Like, is it something that you should just do? But it feels wrong. It's like kind of what you said. It's like, imagine like walking around and above your head, it's like how much money you have in your bank. Like, could you imagine that? Could you imagine how bad that would be? It's like, you know, it's
oh, I just cracked my leg. Yeah, like it's like, I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. It's like the amount of minutes or times.
It's just Justin Timberlake. It's like the one we had the time
and
on.
Murphy's in it as well.
Yeah.
Like that, and it's, I don't know, I just like, I feel uncomfortable when I'm like with people and they say how much they make like an hour at work, or like I feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's like asking someone how old they are. Like,
I agree.
Like, if they're pregnant or whatnot, like just straight up asking, or even just blurting it out how much they make. So I feel like it's personal, but then anyone can do whatever they want, I guess.
Like, definitely, we're definitely not throwing shade to anybody who listens that has done that. Like, let's just make that clear. I think it's cool. I think it's encouraging to people. I think like that's the point of what they're trying to do. But at the end of the day, you got to always kind of think about I know that's like, for example, that's definitely what we do. With certain posts and things that we haven't, like trends that we haven't followed, it's really about like, what's that flip side of like kind of how would that negatively impact someone? Because you got to kind of think about the flip side of everything.
Yeah, and that's like so true. It's like, it's a big decision to choose to be like a creator online, and it's like you then have a responsibility to like, how obviously like you can't control how someone feels about your content, but I think it's so important to be using it for the right thing and be trying to make people like try to spread positivity rather than like, you know, making money off people's insecurities, which obviously a lot of accounts, not UGC accounts, but like just on Instagram do
especially on Instagram.
Yeah, and it's like, also like, this is like not exactly the same like on topic, but with like the posting about the money thing, it's like funny, something that I've noticed, because we've kind of been taking like UGC seriously now for like around a year or whatever, and how there's like trends. I find it really fascinating how like within the UGC community, I didn't think that at first. I thought it would be like, you know, when you're learning a new skill or you're building a side hustle, you kind of like go from step to step to step. But there's like, I guess, like content trends within the UGC community, which for some reason I didn't expect that for some reason.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess that's really like about anything, really, when you think about it. It's just like life, I guess. You kind of like, there's different things at different ages or age groups. Like, you know, it's like the trend of if you're in your 20s, like, or especially like literally that's like the whole trend now. It's like 10 years ago, you're in your 20s, it's like who gives a fuck? You're meant to be partying. But it's like you're in your 20s now, it's like, yo, you don't got your shit together, you're not making like $10,000. Like you're a failure.
Not married or engaged.
Yeah.
Or house.
It's crazy. That it's so true. And it's like it scares me like how well it doesn't scare me, but it's just like it's like so intense how fast things change. Like literally, like it could be a few months ago, you're getting looked down upon for, you know, being more introverted or whatever, and then it's like, you know, it's a trend to be introverted. It's just so crazy how it almost like flips completely.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is all of a sudden doing too much of the same thing, but then one person starts making it trend to be doing something else, and then everyone else then goes to do that as well. It's just so funny.
Social media, I guess, at the end of the day.
Social media, it has its perks and it
has its cons. Definitely. Definitely. Well, that's kind of it. So thank you. That's the end of the questions.
Well, we just ranted away. I love it. I love these chats.
Yeah, they're the most fun. That's where all the insight comes from.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. And I hope you had fun. We definitely had fun. It's great to talk to you more, and I'm excited for everyone to kind of hopefully feel like they know you a bit better now. So
thank you. Thanks for having me. We're gonna have to do a Melbourne catch up.
Definitely. That'll be fun. I'm glad we were able to bring one of your manifestations to life. That feels good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How exciting. Maybe we can do the flip. We can be on your podcast.
Yes, we talk about all things self-development.
I think that we're really big.
We love self-development.
Yeah, so I think that would be fun. So yeah.
Hey, I'll organize it, and
that'd be cool.
You guys know.
It'll be our first guest appearance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exciting. Well, thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, guys. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
See ya.